It's not about hard selling. It's not about putting a product to someone's throat and say, buy this. It's how can I offer you value? But before doing that, you got to know if you don't provide any value to people, they're not going to listen to you. At least the era that we're at right now, that's more kind of like a core importance for people, building the trust.
In today's episode, I got somebody here in the studio with us. He is somebody that have 10 years in advertising, and he gone through many different things like native ads, even traffic ads, even pull and push, all kind of things. And let us welcome Renz.
What's up?
Yeah, but actually, today is not really a studio because we are in this hotel suite.
Yeah, fancy.
So first of all, how do you like Malaysia? It's a short trip.
Yeah, it's a short trip. So I flew in from Bali, right? I've done a whole Asian tour so far. I flew in yesterday, so you basically welcomed me at the airport. We had a really great dinner last night. It's been amazing so far. I got to see the city. We went to like at the W Hotel with like the view of like the KLCC. That was amazing. So yeah, it's been fantastic so far. It's a few days. You told me about like, okay, you need to stay more than that. You know, go to Penang where you guys are located.
Yeah.
So probably the next time.
But you travel many places around. I mean, like, is it that to fulfill your role as head of connecting, head of partnership in propeller ads, and but or you just want to meet friends?
I think it's a mix of everything. So basically, I am vacationing slash working slash meeting friends, such as you here, right? So we talked about that a few weeks ago, like, you know, like I'm traveling and stuff like that, and like we should meet. And then I kind of just last minute arranged the trip here. So it's a mix of everything. But I think when you're in this business of, you know, new partnerships and building connections, it never stops. And I think especially, you know how it is. It's a fundamental thing to retain and actually build those connections, business connections even, but everything needs to start from like a really trustworthy and trust building connection with people.
Yeah.
And I think that's what the spirit of let's say the purpose of what I do is building connections and making business along the way.
How do you actually make it work? Like, how do you build connection, or how do you meet people? I mean, of course, obviously we met from Affiliate Wars, and you do speaking, do some sharings and networking events, and those are really fun time, right?
Yeah.
So, but how do you do it in let's say in general?
Building connections,
Yes,
right?
yes.
I think again for me it's that kind of genuine quality that I have as a person. I mean, I've contemplated about this quite a lot. I'm a very social person, but I'm not an introvert. I'm not an extrovert. I think it's called, forgot the word about it. Anyways, the thing is, I do get energy with meeting people and connecting with people, but to me, it's fundamental that I actually connect with people in a more deeper way. So I do that by obviously attending conferences, going on different kind of like events here and there. I do travel the world for obviously my work as head of partnerships at Propeller Ads, but I also have the luxury of mixing that with meeting other people, and it's great. So the whole thing is for me to meet people in a very genuine way, the same way that I met you, where the energy kind of like just clicked. And that was it. We don't, in a sense, we don't really belong in like the more direct industry, right? We've talked about this, but it's that connection that we built. We've never done business together.
That's also what bothering me is like, I thought that connecting people is supposed to be like, hey, you meet the right person, you have the same energy, then you're connected. I mean, like, you just need to attract the people that's similar to you, similar to what you believe.
Yeah.
But What do you think about like because some people they said, hey, if you want to go for networking, you want to go for a connection, you need to dress nicely, you need to have like luxurious watches. But to me, it was like, hey, I don't like First of all, I'm not a fan of watches, so why force myself to wear watches? So I don't feel comfortable in the first place. Whenever I wore something on myself, the only thing is like this one is and nothing else. So, but do you think that people, if for a normal person or maybe for a business owner, for entrepreneurs, if they wanted to connect high quality people, do you think that having a luxurious appearance is the first things?
For some people that's important, but let's put some examples on the table. Steve Jobs, right? So that is the core value of connecting people and, basically just focus on business. Now, meeting people does not necessarily, you don't necessarily have to like have the most luxurious watch or like, being in a suit and all that shit. But I think it has to do with just the genuine vibe and basically surrounding yourself or going to places where you know that you're gonna meet like-minded people, not necessarily like what you wear, but what you know and what your experience is. I think that's more important. At least to me, well, I like wearing suits. Don't get me wrong. Like I'm gonna wear a suit, but I think it doesn't necessarily matter. I think it has to do with the confidence, the knowledge, and obviously the value that you offer to people.
Yeah, I think that's one of the most important things, because even though you know how luxurious you are and ended up you meet someone that, hey, maybe this person is doing white hat stuff, another person and you are doing black hat stuff. So I mean, like, you can't really connect too much, but yeah, maybe you can make friends and say let's see what we can do in future. So you can't like have immediate connection on the spot. That's why all the while I only believe in connecting the right vibe. But of course, sometimes we need to improve ourselves as well, as time goes by, or else our vibe will always stay there at that level. So and we will always like connecting to the same people forever, and we couldn't grow. So that's why for me, I really, really love it if we, love to go to some conference and events, and even myself, I start mastermind just to connect people.
Those are great. But I would definitely agree on what you said when it comes to providing value. With meeting people, that's great. We all have fun and all that stuff. But behind that, that's where, behind the scenes, is that where people connect and build this kind of fundamental trust between each other. The way that you provide value. I mean, if you don't provide any value to people, they're not going to listen to you. They're not going to watch or to check you out. I think that's what, at least the era that we're at right now, that's more kind of like a core importance for people, building the trust. If I trust what you're saying, if you provide value to me, I think that's what matters the most.
Speaking about values, I think like even like doing podcasts like this, and then we share things, or maybe you record your own videos and add value to others, add knowledge to others. I think that would be also a good way to connect people. And nowadays, for me, these ways, like we go online, we can connect people much better than in offline to me. But of course, some people might be disagree. They say that no, we need the feel, we need the touch, we need the hey, drinking and stuff. But yeah, I really agree that value is very important. But in your opinion, right, an entrepreneur or somebody that started their business, what kind of value or what is the activities they should do to expand their business, or maybe like to connect the right business partner?
Right. I think that has to do with a lot of learning along the way, obviously, but building the connections the way that you've done it, right? Going to conferences, doing seminars. But if you're young, if you're like a hungry young entrepreneur and you want to get into this, it's building your connections, building the connections that you have, acknowledging that if you do not know something, then you got to be surrounded by people that actually are experiencing that specific, kind of like topic or vertical or whatever that is, right? So I think that's what you've done yourself, right? Surround yourself with those people. I mean, you've had your mentor, for example, that we talked about. So it matters that we understand as, entrepreneurs, that you can't do this alone. But if you want to really expand further, you really got to hustle. You really got to network. It's build your network. That's it, right?
What's the common mistake that you ever observe throughout your entire career?
Oh, in terms of networking?
Networking, business, or whatever it is.
I would tell you about networking because we talked about that. It's
Yeah.
quite, fresh on my mind that whenever I would go to conferences, right, and, basically represent a company and in a way being like a brand ambassador and, kind of like meeting new people, bringing a new business in, there are so many reps. There's so many like entrepreneurs or even like, sales representatives in this case that kind of like get into this mindset of I need to sell. I need to pitch my company, right? I need to do all of that. I need to hustle. That's not necessarily what needs to be done. What needs to be done is what we talked about. Build rapport, build meaningful connections with people. And that's one thing that, again, for me, I've coached, multiple companies about how to actually approach sales, because sales is beautiful. It's not about hard selling. It's not about, kind of like really just putting a product to someone's throat and say, buy this. It's how can I offer you value? But before doing that, you got to know who you're talking to, know the people that are around you. And especially with conferences, you really have to understand and listen. I think listening.
What's the best way to start the conversation?
Start a conversation. Just approach it in a very organic way. Hey, how you
Just
doing?
be who we are, right?
Yeah. I mean, you have to be very open about it. You have to have a confidence, obviously, of like, I know my shit. I'm confident in like meeting people and all that. But I get it. It could get a little overwhelming. But if you're somebody who's like, just starting in this and you're a bit shy, it needs a bit of getting used to. But there's tons and tons of material out there, like YouTube, right? I mean, you're doing like a lot of like seminars and master classes. So it's all about learning and kind of like really getting yourself out there. So if you're starting with that, just, start with a conversation. Hey, how you doing? Where are you from? Something that would ignite that kind of spark to the other person. Say, oh, all right, so
It's more just put it in a way that, hey, I just want to make more friends. Hey, I just want to know more people. Rather than, hey, I want to sell to you.
Yeah.
Hey, I want to get money from you. Hey, I want to get some benefit from you. I think that's the biggest difference in what you explain. Right?
Definitely. And that's one of the most common mistakes that I see. And I posted on this on LinkedIn. Like, do not sell. When you're networking, it's like you're dating. Right? When you're dating, you're not like, I have 50 million in the bank and, I'm rich. I have all that. I have a PhD. No, you kind of like really get to express yourself in a very organic way and converse and communicate with people in a more natural, kind of like form. I think that's what's most important, at least to me, and the way that I build my team. Right. So the way that I kind of like really push for that is to really communicate. Understand what are the pains and what are the gains that you can offer as a person, as an individual. But, don't forget the fact that we're in this industry. It's a small industry, but you also got to like enjoy it. Enjoy the process. If you're not enjoying it and you're just there for like just the money and the hustling, just put in that little spark of, you know what? I want to meet a lot of people. I mean, you're in Malaysia. I'm in Cyprus. We talk. We're in touch. As you are with so many people, as I am. So that's the most important thing, I think. Enjoy the process.
Good said. Well said. Very well said. So, and another different topic, which is in your days, your entire career, you have like 10 years experience in advertising, and how do you get into this industry actually?
Wow. Okay. I'm going to make it very short. So so originally I'm from the Philippines, right? My mother is Filipina. And we've immigrated to Cyprus when I was around 8, I think. And we had, like a really good life. It's a small island, very, kind of like a great upbringing. But I've gotten into like family businesses, like catering services, food and beverage. But I wanted to branch out into something else. I knew that I was a person who, would instantly, and I say that literally, instantly connect with people and actually build connections and friendships. So I kind of like knew that, okay, I need something else. I need something more. And I think that's what an entrepreneur's mindset should be. Man. You know what I mean? You try different things. Yeah. You try different aspects. You've done so many things throughout the years. So I guess for me, that's how I started. So about 10 years ago. And I started going outside of like the family businesses. I went into finance. So I was in foreign exchange. That was quite an experience, because that's like you learn and understand aggressiveness, like sales tactics, which wasn't for me, because I knew that, okay, I could sell, but not this way. So I got into advertising. I went into in-app traffic, a company called AppNext. Quite a pivotal moment, of my career, obviously.
Yeah, it was like suddenly from Forex and jumping to advertising.
Yeah. So I tried different things, and I think I kind of like excelled in understanding that all of these experiences just, kind of like really absorb everything, absorb whatever information and whatever experience that you get. And then I ended up at Propeller Ads about 7 years ago, and the ball kept rolling. I think for me, what definitely made the whole experience of the past 7 years at Propeller Ads was the fact that there are people inside of the company that really believe in people. Like, they really believe in the talent. And I would say that I've had multiple mentors throughout, but I'm gonna name her. So her name is Olga. She's the CRO of the company, Olga Dmitrenko, and she came to me, and this is something that I will never forget. She was like, I want to send you to a conference in Brazil. I think that was 2019. I think that was pre-COVID. And she comes to me and says, how far do you want to go? And I said, as far as I can. It gives me chills now, but that's something that it's very important to give opportunity to people, and I will take that with me. And I hope the people that I've worked with, within my team, also feel the same way. Like, give opportunities, kind of like trust people. Sometimes it's hard to let go of like delegate and just trust like everyone is going to do a great job. I think that comes with like an experience as well when it comes to leadership, right? But getting back to the topic of like how I got into this and how I excelled is a person believing in me and said, all right, I'll take you as far as you can. So now here we are. I'm head of partnerships, which I'm very proud of.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I mean, like the word that she asked, how far you want to go. And I think that you are a person that a grateful person, that you will appreciate kindness. I think that's also one of the key virtues that I see from many different entrepreneurs, that they climb to the top, because I think that appreciating kindness is also one of the really, really key virtues in connecting people. Yeah. Because or else, like if somebody treats you kind, then you treat the other way. I mean, like you say, oh, you take it for granted, then no more kindness for you. Then I mean, like in future, it's just happened that way. But I think beside of that, you seems to have stronger passion in advertising as well. Or else definitely. You wouldn't come this far. True. Right? Yeah. So what are the moments that makes you realize, hey, advertising industry, that brings you this far, 7 years. Yeah. And more years to come. Obviously, you're going to be here for the next another 10 years in things like this. Not Hopefully. Going to change. So yeah. That is pure passion. I think that's pure passion, because anybody can. A lot of people, they just say that, hey, I just want to make money. So when they see property is high, rising, the trend is there, everyone rush into property. Right. And after that COVID, everyone rush into the cemetery, selling the dead people things, and just for the sake of money. But for people like us, I think that passion is also one of the things that are very, very important, because no matter is it sunrise or sunset, we are in that things, right? You are in your passion no matter how, and you stay in there, grow your roots as deep as possible, and one day, I always believe in this, that the tree is this tall, and the root is always at least twice the size of the tree trunk.
Absolutely.
So, and what is the moment that makes you really think that, hey, advertising is something that I want to go far?
Two things. It's the understanding from, I think about 6 months in, I understood that I had an advantage. The advantage that I had was that communication skill that I had initially. I mean, that was natural. You know what I mean? I've always had that. I was very empathetic. I was always open to people. But once I got into the whole business and I understood that second thing, there's so many things to learn. And I think that really kind of instilled this fear in me, oh, am I gonna make it? Am I gonna do this? Am I gonna achieve my goals in here?
Even today.
Yeah, because when you see a mountain right in front of you of just a vast pool of knowledge and information that you need to accumulate and get accustomed to, that was something that I was like, you know what, head on, I'm gonna learn my craft. I'm gonna learn all of the things that I need to learn in and out. And I've done that, and along with, in parallel with building connections with people, I am friends with many clients that I've had when I was an account manager. And I started as an account manager, right? So I've remained friends with a huge majority of the clients that I've, basically managed and, helped build, their empires, if I could say that. And I'm very proud of that because, for example, I went to Hanoi in Vietnam about a week ago and met a client of mine. We're not working now we're not working no longer because, he pivoted his business, but we made millions and millions of dollars. And this is a guy who back in pre-COVID, that was 2019, he built his network with a team of 7 people. And honestly, it's that kind of connection of sharing knowledge with each other and the experience, and also understanding that we're people. In a span of 12, 13, 14 hours a day, it could get intense when it comes to sales, right? And business development. So I remained friends with people and kind of really understood that in order for me to enjoy this process, I also need to be human. I also need to be myself in it, and not just be a corporate salesman and all that shit. But that combination made me understand that, okay, this is something that I enjoy. So early on, that was something that was very important for me. If I did not enjoy it, man, if I did not understand inside of me that I feel good going home and sleeping, and the next day I'm excited to go to work the next day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's amazing to me, and I hope that people find that passion, or that one thing, or even 2 or 3 or multiple things, right, that they feel so passionate about. I think that's very important. And also the grit. I'm not sure about you, but okay, it's one thing to be passionate about something, but it's because you're an entrepreneur yourself, you're a founder, so it's not just the passion, but it's also the grit and the perseverance, right?
So I always believe in 3 things, okay? Number 1, I always call this 3P. Passion. If you don't have a passion in something, you cannot go far. You might get some money, you might make some money, but if you don't really love that things, you was after you make certain money, a certain amount of money, it was what's next? So I think that's it. That's the maximum for me. If you don't have the passion, you will always that. And worst case, if you don't make money out of that passion, so you don't have passion, you don't make money on that, you will definitely give up. But to be honest, in anything in this world, even just selling a newspaper, I mean, back in those days, even now today, I believe that somebody might be selling newspaper and still making tons of money.
Yeah.
But it's just that what we believe in and what the passion is. So number one is always a passion. So passion, persistent, which is the greed that you were saying. Persistent is definitely like you keep doing the same thing. And the last P, which is actually one of the most important for me, I think is patient. So how patient means, which is sometimes in early days of my career when I just started my business, I did everything I know, and there's nothing else I can done, to be done, and I don't know what to do. And that is the period of time which is the most despair and most depressing. I even get anxiety, like in the midnight, I go sleep. 5 minutes, so it's very, very difficult to sleep. And 5 minutes, I fall asleep, and I will awake half population, or super anxiety. Because it's not because of stress. The stress is because I don't really know what else to do. So the stress, when you know that, oh my God, I have tons of things, I couldn't get it finished, I couldn't get it done. That stress, nowadays, to me, is good stress. Because at least I know what I can, what to be done.
Yeah.
So, but compared to the one that I don't know what to do, and I just sit there, the only things that I can do is pray, but nothing else I can do. So that's the worst case for me. But sometimes you need time for things to grow. You need time for things to react. For example, if you have a quotation for your client, right? You send out a quotation for a client. Then every hour you send, hey, have you read it? Have you read it? Have you read it? Yeah. That's not possible, right? You need patience, right? Yeah. But of course, if your client, they're overseas, right? They did not read it for 1 week. So for the 1 week, it was like, shit, I've been waiting, right? Yeah. I mean, you just need to be patient. So, and sometimes partnership came this way as well. Sometimes people say, hey, yes, I think that I want to work with you, but let's see how things... just leave it. Just be patient. Do what you should do. That's why I keep saying that grow the roots, because any plant that if it's growing and you don't see fruits, you don't see trunks, you don't see much things, it's because you are growing the roots. Yeah. So the roots is so deep, it got to be so deep for you to show a little bit. So earlier days, be patient is really one of the key things that I learned, that in anything we do, you must give patience for the result to show. Right. The result don't show immediately most of the time. But of course, yes, let's say if we are running ads, we know that, hey, after I ran ads, the ROAS and all these things, we know that does it works or not. Right. But there is also things that need time to prove. So again, it's a matter of choice. Are we choosing fast path or are we choosing slow path? To me, I don't choose. I mean, like anything, we will definitely have fast path. We will definitely have slow path together. Like I say, if running ads is a fast one, you need to focus. If you know how to run ads, if you know how to get client, then go all in that. Yeah. But sometimes it's like we need time to figure out what are the funnel that best for us. So that's like the slower path that the hard journey that you need to go through. Be patient, keep doing and keep fighting. So that's for me.
100%. 100%. I just a few comments about that. When it comes to advertisers and the whole immediate result. I need to have like 150% return on investment and all that fuck. The thing is, agree with you. It's the patience, but also knowing and understanding when to move on. Yeah. Right. Oh, yeah. Because you have to have all the patience in the world for sure when it comes to like advertising and A/B testing and seeing exactly what works for you and what not. But having the understanding of, okay, I've spent enough time and resource to like making this work. If it's not, moving forward, ask for help. What is wrong? So get somebody to help you understand and have a different perspective on things, right? Because it's
Yeah,
one
I think
thing to
that's
test
very
it.
important.
Yeah.
Like you're saying, knowing when to move, but most people don't know when to move on.
Yeah.
I think third party opinion is really, very important.
But the thing is, that's also one thing that needs to be harmonized is, all right, so you need immediate results, but figure out first, what are other people and other experts doing? Like, how do they do it? So that you also kind of like cut corners, but in a way you also have to go through the process. You also have to learn. If you're not as experienced, if you're young and new to this, you get yourself a mentor. Get yourself a Jeff, and and understand things from that perspective, and then build your own path. It's one thing to be an expert to this. Each and every entrepreneur, each and every expert out there, they've had their own path, and I get it with the whole educating people. It really builds the ground up for many young kind of like aspiring individuals, right, to really make and reach their goals and all that.
You know how most people did the wrong decision in this part? They get mentor from just friend.
Yeah.
They get the friend like, hey, buddy, what do you think about this? But if that buddy is not in that industry and is not like achieving higher level,
Right. Yeah.
that buddy is going to ruin his life. And worst case, fathers, mothers, and parents, family members, and spouse as well. So if the person that you consult is not in that industry, and not in that industry, and I mean, like, if they are in that industry but not achieving higher result, no, that's definitely not the person that you should ask for.
100%.
And but what happened is, most people, they will go for these people, mostly, because even very simple. Even I got student that they have me as a mentor. They come and ask question. Oh, should I do this? I already told them that's the answer. This is a way. This is a path that you should do. They go back and say, oh, my mentor. They tell their spouse. They tell their parents. They tell whoever it is. Oh, my mentor say this, or I should be doing this. I should be doing that. I think this is not a right mentor for you. Done. Like, if the spouse says that, I think that this mentor is like whatever it is. No, the right way is shut everything and just listen to your mentor. If you really think the person is your mentor, then listen and follow. I mean, we have multiple mentors in our life that get where we are, and you also, right? So to me, really having a mentor is so important, but that's where I know when to move on, where to move on, and how to move on sometimes, right? Yeah.
It's funny that you say that when it comes to like getting knowledge from people that do not know anything about a topic, or like in this case, like with friends and stuff like that. It gets chaotic because you also have to figure out who to trust, because many cases, I say it with conviction and with experience, that I've let go of many people in my life that did not really provide me any value, because they're just stuck in a mentality of, this is what I know, and you're gonna listen to me because this is the fact. This is what this topic's situation is. This is what you need to learn. I'm like, how did you figure that out yourself? Did you like get an actual education to learn about this topic?
For me, definitely is mentor.
Yeah.
For me, I do have those times that my mentor says that, hey Jeff, this is the things that you should do. I did not do it for 1 year. And then I get myself into even deeper shit. So after that, I was like, okay, yeah, sure. I'll do it. No more excuse, no more, reason after reason why you cannot do that. Make the reason says, do it. But of course, if you ask me, do my mentor really give me a lot of help? It's like, helping me every single step? No, definitely not. You need to walk the path. I mean, you need to walk the path. So if somebody points the direction, but you don't walk the path, it's useless as well. Yeah. But of course, if somebody, because most of the time, right, they meet people that, hey, no, this is not. But then the person that consult them, that add value, opinion into that is the people that not in the industry, the people that not in his position, most of time are spouse or family members. Most of time, I see that most of time is these people, and they don't go straight into telling you that I think that your mentor says this was wrong or this was right. Most of them they don't go in that. Most of them they will say from their perspective, they say, I love you. I would rather you not take the risk.
Yeah.
Right? I don't want you to take the risk. I was worried about you. They were like in a word of love, and that's it for most people, you know. But like you say, sometimes we really need to get rid of. It's not to say that hey, I'm no longer friend with you. Hey, I it's just like we need to distance ourselves and be closer to people that can help you grow.
Listen, I love that you said that when it comes to like, you know, friends and family and the way that they would support you. I think that it definitely matters in one's growth and, you know, elevation to where they want to go. You definitely have to have that support system.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to say it from a personal perspective. I understand that in order for me to actually grow and, you know, make sure that my path continues and I keep on walking, right? I need to have people around me that support this because it's tough. It's a lot of work. It's day and night. And as you said, like, you know, anxiety and stuff like that, it's something that we need to manage and control, bro,
Yep.
right? I mean, I don't know how you do it yourself, but I'm going to ask you about that. So for me, it really matters that I am surrounded by people that are not draining me and are not pulling me down.
Yeah, very important.
And rather say, spread your wings, you know, do what you got to do to get where you want in life. Because I don't want to regret anything because people just limited me or restricted me from doing what I wanted to do or going where I wanted to go.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Right? I mean, it's about basically filtering things out and focusing on what matters the most. Because if you're going to, like, as we said, like, overthink about what did this person say or, you know, about, you know, the product that you have, like, you just need to let go of things and comprehend that failure is part of it and errors are part of it, of the journey. And that's how you learn along the way. What
you have to accept the failures as well. You know, some people, they couldn't accept failures.
And speaking of failures, though, what has been, I was always eager to ask you this as a, you know, as a mentor for me as well. You inspire me in many, many ways. What has been the biggest failure that you learned from the years that you've been in this, you know, this game and hustling and, you know, having your own companies? Maybe not just in business, but also like in decisions or, you know.
One, if I'm going to choose one failures, which is early days when I started my business, the reason why I didn't know what else I can, you know, to do is actually I'm not selling. I'm not doing the action of selling. So I don't know. I mean, back then I don't really have much knowledge about these things. But I think that for me, learning marketing is one of the best thing ever that happened in my life. Learning marketing, learning advertising is one of the best things I ever have in my life. And if you say that what caused failure, it's not just one thing that caused failure. It's always a multiple things. Let's say bad in managing finance, bad in, you know, like got no finance knowledge, got no taxation knowledge, got you know, no marketing knowledge, got no advertising knowledge, got even got a wrong perspective about money, about and wrong perspective about business, all kind of things that make things up and makes that create the difficult situation, you know, if you consider that as failure. So every time we go into a difficult situation, which means something that we did not learn. Something that they don't learn. So the best things that ever happened to me is actually creating the tools at Helper. So the tools, why the tools I create these tools is because I realized many people that like me, that they got zero knowledge about how to do online marketing. I mean, marketing is one thing. Marketing is like super big spectrum.
Yeah.
But to bring the business online and start selling. So if you want money, you just got to sell. But back then, back then, you know what I do? I keep thinking that I want to get funding.
Right.
So because obviously last time people were selling about getting fund.
Yeah.
Selling about getting fund, the courses, how you can get funds, how you can pitch, all these kind of things. But to me, I believe in that, and it turns out I go into a very, very difficult situation because the mind was always thinking how I can rely on others. Yeah. So I got one mentor that been telling me for many years. Every year I got different understanding about this word, which is 100% about yourself. Right. It's you and you only. It's never about the government. It's never about the economy. It's never about are you handsome or not. It's never about all these things. But I mean, like, obviously, if you are, let's say, do you think that you are handsome, you're not pretty, the problem is charisma. So we got people that don't looks good in physically, but they got super good charisma.
Yeah.
Charisma is something that you can build. So it's also me and me only. It's something that you can build to ourselves. So back then, I think that the number one lesson that I learned from when I'm looking for many other answers throughout my journey, which is number one, I keep looking for people to fund my business. And I don't know, is it lucky or not lucky? I pitched into Malaysia, there's a creator fund. I pitched into another like seed fund, VCs and stuff like that. Lucky enough, nobody sees me. So back then, always got this mindset that relying on others.
Yeah.
No. You know what's the right mindset nowadays I have? I want to be so strong that I will make everyone would want to rely on me. Now that's different.
Yeah.
So if I'm so strong that everyone wanted to rely on me, I would attract connection. I would attract everyone. I would attract sales. I would attract. So it's always me and me only. So it's a lone fighting. And but back then I didn't know about that. So if then there's a saying say that the fastest cash injection in this world is actually from customer, not from funders, not from investor, not from bankers. You might need to like 3 months, 6 months to get an investor, but you can get customer start paying immediately tomorrow. So then the first problem solved, which is the business profit or not. Yes, make money from customer. So when there is nobody invest in us, we are forced to go into this way, serve customer, serve better, add more value, and turn out it's become a right path. It become a right path. Even until today, to me, funding is like funding investor. Of course, I'm open for collaboration, open for people that invest in us to grow bigger and to go worldwide. But even if there is none, so the question, the key word here is, even if there's none, nobody supporting you, nobody investing you, how are you going to make money? Right. How are you going to grow? So it's always me and me only. So that's what I learned.
So how are you making money? I mean, being backed by venture capital investors and all that, it's great for the growth of the company. But how do you ensure that you are fundamentally growing and in your
providing
trajectory?
Value? That's right, selling.
Yeah.
So to me, that's why I say marketing is one of the best things that I learned that changed my life, because marketing teach me on how not just teach me but force me on how I can sell better.
Yeah.
And it's not just about selling. Actually, just now you did mention about that. It's in the beginning, adding value. How we going to add value to client? So the more value we can add to client, the more value we can add to public, the better attraction we can get. So that's how you get a traffic, you get everything rolling, and of course you got to be selling. I mean, you add value, you sell. So back then I also got this mindset about hey, teaching classes, is this borderline scam, kind of things. So another mentor, say importance of mentor. So another mentor came. I have 1 hour conversation with him. Back then I did not teach. I only sell at helper course. So and I provide one-on-one service free for teach people. But my mentor says that, hey Jeff, if you got the knowledge already, you've been through it already, you've been through a journey. Many people want to come into your path, right? I mean, many people is struggling. Do you want to help them? Yes, you got. Then I say yes. If you got the heart to help them, and if you charge them, why is it considered a scam? I mean, like, you go to college, you pay, you buy a Ferrari. Let's say if you are a Ferrari owner, you design the sports car and you fit the person needs. The person drive the sports car and they crash. Is it your fault? That was like, no, it is not supposed to be. Same things. Your heart is not to scam people. So you are there to add value, and you are there to teach, to share. So how the person take your knowledge and execute it is that person's problem. So you are not supposed to, because of this 1-2 person that maybe will happen, and then you stop teaching. So turn out after so many years, 95%, I would say, 95% of the people on our Google review, they are like, oh, they really appreciate it, they really love it. And 5% on our Facebook ads, or some ads, they will say scammers and stuff like that. So, and we realized those people never attend my class.
That's the latest, though. It's that troll behind just a keyboard, just
keyboard warriors,
whatever shit they can, and kind of like bringing people down.
We knows that they never attend. They never attend. They just, of course, I mean, like, there's bad apple in everywhere, so they might get some bad experience out there. So, but for us, our classes are free. So we most of the time we are providing the classes for free for people to come in. They learn. They if they're happy, they subscribe our tools. Then if they want more, then they come into our mastermind, higher level, different courses and stuff. So to me, I think that's one of the best things, because no matter what, regardless what I'm selling, is it a tools, is it a course, is it a products, or whatever it is, the marketing methods, the funnel, the way we design a funnel, the way we throw in base, all these things are same. For up to today, I have helped over 70 something industry, and over, I think, 10,000 people that attended my class before. So we know what is right, what is wrong. We got a lot of data to see what landing page works, what doesn't work, and what kind of beats works, what kind of title works, what kind of photos works. We know all these things already. We got like more than, I think, 300,000 or 500,000 landing page created in our page, in our backend. So, but the thing is, it's always about how you sell. That's why I say, if I say is that the number one failures that I will ever have is not selling, because I thought that I was selling. But no, I was not. I am not. Okay? So, but now I know what is really selling, what is really marketing. And I always say this, sales and marketing is like sales of 1 to, tangible. But marketing is 1 to many.
Yes.
Exactly. that you couldn't count. So if you couldn't sell 1 to 1, how can you sell 1 to many? So marketing is one of the best thing that I ever learned so far. But what do you think?
Listen, there's one thing that I want to discuss with you about, because I think that we both practice it. Personal branding. It's the marketing is great. You have a sales team and everything else, but the core entity is you. I mean, definitely you have to provide value in terms of what you're selling. But I firmly believe, when it comes to my own experience, and it's my own journey, my path is that building this rapport of being somebody that is trusted, and what you're actually experienced at, and what you're essentially selling as a service or a value, a product. I believe for me, it has to do with my own personal attribute of providing information and building that trust with the people that would be my potential audience, customers, whatever. I think for me that really helped me a lot when it comes to, in the industry that I'm in, providing that essence of trustworthiness, and building that connection, and then understanding how I can help you further. I think that's what makes me unique, because I've definitely put in not just the corporate and the sales part of it, but also my personal being
personal touch.
That personal touch. And I think what works for you, right? And for different people, it's a different path, different journey, whatever. But for me, that's what really helped me the most.
I think personal touch is also value they're adding.
Yeah.
Well, that's also one of the value they're adding.
But eventually, it's what you're offering. Is that something that people would take benefit from? Because it's one thing to say, like, we're good friends, all that stuff. But at the end of the day, the product that you're selling also has to provide value and, results to people, whatever that could be.
Yeah.
Right?
But speaking about like entrepreneurship and selling and marketing and stuff, what do you think about you've been in this industry for 10 years now. So after 10 years, what do you see that the most important thing in marketing and sales, in marketing and advertising, what are the most important things? And next is, what are the trend? What's the future that you will see?
Right. In terms of sales, what would be the main changes in 10 years? I think AI definitely has contributed already significantly to how consumers really absorb advertisement in terms of like how content is being made and all that. But in terms of the sales aspect of things, for me, and as being somebody who is in sales and kind of like leading a sales team, it definitely has to do with the core value of communication. I think that on its own will be just a valuable asset, because everything else, we talked about like marketing and copywriting being replaced by AI and all that. Nothing will be replaced unless you're great at it. And I think that here, talking about sales, because bottom line is, it's all about the connecting, it's all about the communication with people. That's never going to go away, and that's never going to be replaced by a chatbot, whatever, like a virtual, kind of like model. No, I think that is something that will continue on striving and thriving along the way. Now, the trends, I mean, being from like the whole digital marketing, affiliate marketing, and media buying, right? It's always a fluctuating thing. So pre-COVID, there were different types of, let's say, advertising and offers and verticals that were, kind of like really at the top. But currently, and the past couple of years, and pivoting to it, we see that, iGaming is just very, very dominant, across the industry and the industry that I'm in, right? But again, it's a lot of things that will just essentially have a go with like being in trend and what would not be. So finance, for example, right? I mean, we talked with, I met Eugene yesterday, like the company that we were in, and he's like into lead gen and stuff. So those were, in trend for quite a while. So it's definitely a matter of seasonality as well. Like for example, with e-commerce, right? So e-commerce is great throughout, across the year, but obviously we know about like, different types of events, holidays, that kind of like really gets it to the top. So predicting what will be the next big thing is tricky and challenging, because it's always about seasonality. It's always about different types of occurrences. COVID, for example, that brought different types of verticals up top. So
for example, like then?
Yeah. So a lot of people downloaded apps, fitness, right? So fitness, diets, recipes, cooking classes, Zoom calls, like, fitness wise. So different types of verticals, and a lot of advertisers made shit tons of money for that.
Do you mean affiliates or?
Yeah, I mean affiliates and also like direct brands as well.
Direct
I mean
brands.
that's profoundly what
Yeah.
when it comes to e-commerce, it's pushing something that has relevance to the consumer at that time, or in a sense of like making a consumer. Getting a consumer buy a product. It's also about retargeting and making sure that they remember that the product that they've seen, they get retargeted and they kind of like really understand the value of that. Because in my opinion, for a consumer, at least for me to kind of like understand that, okay, I need to look into this product, or that might be something interesting for me, right? When you're scrolling on all of these shopping apps, right? You kind of like need to see it probably more than 5 to 7 times, and then it kind of like gets instilled. Oh, maybe I should buy that product. So that's also a factor of it. So overall, I would say that currently it's iGaming. Obviously there are also different types of verticals such as apps, mobile apps that still many developers strive on, kind of like working on getting installs and retention rates up. So a lot of iGaming, a lot of finance offers like banks, neobanks as well. E-commerce is not going away anywhere. I think that's still something that's pretty strong. But yeah, I think some arbitrage, search arbitrage as well.
Beginners should start?
Learn. I think that
for affiliate. I mean, let's say affiliate beginners, they should go directly into iGaming, or they should go into like dating. Or how about dating? Dating, you did mention about dating.
Dating. Well, dating is also very evergreen. And
I think
that's a different scope. I'm not as, let's say, keen on this vertical itself because, I mean, for me, dating is throughout, kind of like really
it's been
one
years.
of the top verticals, right? I mean, people still,
Yeah.
want to, build connections as we're talking about. So we have so many apps now that people can access. That's also very organic for people now. Like I'm looking for someone, I might go to like a club, I might go to a bar, but I might also download an app to meet people. So dating,
Or you think maybe beginners should just do everything, like iGaming, dating?
I would not definitely recommend doing everything, but because if you're a starting affiliate, I think that also has to do with your experience and your resources, your financial resources, right? So for me, an affiliate who's starting into this need to focus on one thing and one thing alone and build your craft there, build the experience that you have. So there's tons and tons of material online, right? Not just through, like, let's say Propeller Ads blog, where we have so many articles, but online, just go on YouTube. There's like so many things that you can learn. But if you want to start, let's say, because we talked about iGaming, right? Study it. Like, what is the KPI? What are the objectives of, let's say, an operator if you're going to work as an affiliate, right? So many brands, as you guys know, there are affiliate programs that you can get commission off of, like any type of conversion or, like, let's say, a sale that the brand itself is looking for. So I would definitely, maybe we could paste some articles of different types of CPA networks, right? Affiliate networks that, let's say, an affiliate guide for them to understand where to go to. I think that's very important, especially for your audience, right? But to me, it's all about reading, learning, and surrounding yourself with different other experts as well. But start with one thing alone, you have to be conservative as well. I mean,
but
all
nowadays,
of us do understand.
Nowadays, I think most of them, regardless like iGaming or whatever it is, I think most of them are just doing arbitraging, like just buying the traffic and
just reselling it.
resell traffic. So as beginners, actually, even me, I'm a slow learner, so it took me quite some time to even trying to understand this. So do you think that for them to just, because definitely a beginner, they won't have traffic, they will need to spend money to generate the traffic. They are not publisher, they don't have traffic. How should they start? Is it that arbitraging is the only way?
It's not the only way. There are different types of traffic channels, right? So I'm going to talk a little bit about my industry and the traffic that I like, we have at Propeller Ads, for example, where it's cost effective and it's a good starting point for an affiliate because you have full control of, let's say, the budgeting that you have, what kind of offer, and kind of like having that support on, okay, where do I need to start, right? So start somewhere where your resources permit you to go, like in a sense of buying traffic, right? I mean, if you're a publisher, for example, and you're monetizing your website and stuff like that, that's also something great. When it comes to like search arbitrage, that's also very different, but that needs a lot of technical understanding, right? And, in a sense, you also need to figure out, when it comes to buying traffic, where could you buy, as you mentioned, where could you buy cheap and actually get a good, ROAS after that.
Yeah.
So I think start with traffic such as pop under or push notifications. I think these kind of traffic channels or ad formats are more good entry points for affiliates, right? You can then work around your activity with native ads, for example, or even like social. But you know how it is with social, Facebook, Instagram, all of that. That needs budgets. That needs kind of like more resource and effort to make it work, right? Because it's getting much more expensive now through those channels. So I think for me that affiliates should focus on understanding, okay, cost effectiveness, where this is my budget, this is where I need to go. So start with somewhere that the entry point is
Do you think
quite
that,
moderate.
Telegram ads that last time you were talking about.
We talked about that.
Yeah. So the Telegram ads is a good entry for beginners.
It is because it's a new thing that
It costs very low.
Yeah. So I spoke about this at Affiliate World. You were there.
Yeah.
So I spoke about this in Bangkok. It's an up and coming traffic channel, right? Because it's still not as, it's growing, and it's kind of like constantly building itself when it comes to the volumes of traffic. And when it comes to something new, the entry point when it comes to, let's say, the CPCs, the CPMs are still quite favorable, and it's good for advertisers to test such traffic because it's something fresh. It's something that isn't, let's say, as competitive yet. So make sure to test something even if it's new. This is like a playbook when it comes to like very seasoned advertisers anyway. Like, where they're buying from. They're buying from like all places, Facebook, Meta, Google, all that
Buying
stuff.
traffic.
Native, pop and push, and different other type of traffic. But once something else pops up, they go into like that and jump on the bandwagon and say, okay, I need to test that, see if it works. How can I pivot? How can I retarget? How can I optimize the traffic? So that on its own is something that a new affiliate should be really cautious about as well. Like, okay, what is new? So I think this is one of the fundamental reasons why these conferences really provide value. Like understanding what is trending, what's out there, what else is new. You asked me about like native ads, and all of that. So there's still a lot of ways to go when it comes to educating the audience that we have, affiliates, and in this sense, media buyers like brands, internal media buyers, and all that. They also are quite diversified. But for affiliates, I think it needs educating. And entry points start with somewhere that you and your budgets allow you to buy traffic from.
Like what kind of budget we are talking about here?
I had a client, an affiliate, starting. That was about a couple of months ago. So the guy is from Vietnam, from Hanoi, and he wanted to run a sweepstake offer. It's just like a lead generation offer, like a very SOI, so very easy flow, meaning the offer itself is from a bank, and they just wanted to generate new registrations, kind of like attract them, and obviously later down the funnel to communicate with them, reach out via email or phone number, and get to know if they're potential new clients for an account opening. So that was the whole idea, and he started with what, $300-$400 in like a span of like a week. So it was, it was a very moderate budget, and the advertising, we only launched one campaign because I also understood that, okay, this is an affiliate who also needs to learn the process. So educating and making sure that you also understand the budget of each and every client that you have, right?
Yeah.
So because on our side, for example, we have a really good entry point for clients. You can start with as low as that amount, and then build yourself from the ground up and optimize the campaigns that you have, and gradually increase your budgets. It's not about going in with $10,000, because at the end of the day, it has to come down to optimization. It has to come down to like what angles really work for this advertising campaign. So if an account manager or a rep tells you as a new affiliate, a newbie, like, let's start with 10K and let's do that and you're gonna make shit tons of money, okay, that's already a red flag.
Where should they find the offers, like the funnels, or the where should they, because now they are buying traffic from propellers,
right?
So where should they find the monetization?
The offers, right? So offers can be found through affiliate networks, CPA networks, where essentially they act as the mediators for affiliates to get access to a wide pool of brands and offers, right? So instead of you going directly one by one to each kind of like brand and working with their affiliate program, the CPA network helps you and provides you the access to a vast pool of offers for you to look into. They have all the details, which countries are allowed for you to run this offer, for example, what kind of devices, what kind of angles, what kind of traffic is permitted for it. So the brand itself establishes, this is what I allow, this is where I want my brand to be promoted, and this is where the CPA network comes in and provides that information to the affiliate.
Let's say somebody young and somebody just want to start in Malaysia.
If you're a newbie to this, as I mentioned, read a lot of content on how to start, but start with more simple offers that don't necessarily need a lot of capital to generate a sale from, right? So something that's more easy, like apps like CPI. So cost per install, that would basically require you to generate installs for the app itself. So that's quite simple for you. Perhaps something like lead generation, like simple flows as well. Single opt-in is like, when you basically are just required to generate a lead. That could be a phone number, a name, an email address. So those kind of offers, but try to figure out what would catch your attention as well, because it's one thing to try everything as you mentioned, but it's also like figuring out what you would be inclined and again passionate about. I think it's that kind of interest in learning about something that would kind of like provide you more endurance, and patience with the whole vertical itself. So something more simple. I would even start with offers such as pin submits. Pin submits are MVAS offers where you are required to generate again, a lead to subscribe to, let's say, a service through a carrier. So in Asia, those are quite also famous, popular, and companies like Golden Goose, perhaps that you should look into. Access Trade, where they have a lot of offers. But yeah, I think those are where you need to start initially. But there are different types of resources online where you can actually find them. If you type in top CPA networks, top affiliate networks 2024, 2025, you'll find everything online.
What do you think, like, let's say, because nowadays people was comparing like, hey, doing e-commerce or should I do affiliates, and worst case, not to say worst case, but most of people eventually will choose, like, they go into MLM, they go into sell properties, like things like that. So do you think that, what's your words for people that wanted to look for an alternative to make money? So that should they come into affiliate, or should they do whatever it is?
I think every industry takes time and takes a lot of learning, right? It's a learning curve. So if you're into like, selling properties or affiliate, I think affiliate marketing is just an easy route.
Compare easy affiliates or dropshipping?
Ooh, drop shipping is a whole different industry. I think that you definitely need to be a bit more advanced with like the whole process of like, essentially building and selecting products that you need to sell. For example, I know a lot of like drop shippers choosing one or two products and selling them,
getting a winning product.
Get a winning product.
But so it's the same things. I mean, in my eyes, it's the same things with affiliate, right? So
it is
like,
you
need to get a winning offers, winning ads, right? It's still the same things.
They can definitely try that as well. I mean, there's tons and tons of resources for that. I mean, Shopify, for example, but it's not as easy as one might think it is. So my advice is to really just learn things as you go, but try to accumulate as much information as you can, because affiliate marketing, it might look as though it's easy as we're talking about it, but it definitely needs a lot of research to do so. And the capital.
What's the most amount? Like okay, what's the maximum revenue from affiliate that you ever seen?
A maximum revenue.
Yeah.
Okay, I could go to extremes.
The ceiling.
Here. Yeah, I could go to extremes here. So, a few affiliates that we've worked with, for a period of 30 days, for example, they had a revenue, so return on investment on their end, around $30,000. But
you mean per day?
That's on a month.
Okay.
Base.
All right.
Yeah. I wish it was per day. But yeah, I mean, it definitely takes work.
Okay.
So I would say around somebody young to this, would probably expect somewhere between 3 to 4K a month to start.
I see.
Because you need to start affiliate marketing as though it's a passive income for you, and that's how you learn the process, and then move on to that if that becomes your main kind of like source of your financing, your revenue. So start with it as a passive income, see what kind of offers, for example, as I mentioned, right, easy flow offers, CPI offers. We can link information about kind of like what offers should they start with, and maybe some blog and some articles.
Do you think that doing affiliates like this, let's say buying traffics and bringing into, or maybe arbitraging, can make like 10 millions per year? Do you think
if you're an
possible?
affiliate?
Yeah.
No.
Why?
I mean, straight up, I think that if you're an affiliate, it depends.
Or affiliate agency then.
If you're an affiliate agency, if you're a media buying agency, for example, the sky is the limit. But as long as you have the right people to actually acquire traffic and optimize, because that's what matters the most. So it's not just about the funding that you have, it's the offers as well. So it needs a lot of researching on what kind of offers, because many media buying agencies, let's say a group of affiliates that have become media buying agencies themselves, they practice one niche alone. For example, I know a very big group of they started as affiliates, and then they basically just become their own agency in iGaming. So they work with different types of operators, and they're probably generating legit, what, 5-8 million a year?
Wow. Okay. Okay.
But that needs obviously a lot of efforts, a lot of resources, a lot of connections to see what kind of offers would work for you. But if we're talking about newbie affiliates, right, and somebody who's just starting, and it's
for newbie, I think maybe like even 10,000 would be super good enough, right?
Yeah, it needs a lot of researching as well. Yeah, but for a media agency with like tons and tons of experience, and obviously networking and seeing what's out there, not just one niche and not just one vertical, you can make tons of money with it. Yeah, but as long as you have the right tools, like Ads Helper in this case, so right tools, right people, right media buyers, and all that. So it's not just one thing, as you mentioned. It's also a combination of different other factors that would make this a moneymaker for an agency.
Do you think that maybe one day we can have like 2 hours of your time to share with our audience about more about this, how to make money from affiliates and stuff like that? Do you think that we can do that?
Oh yeah, definitely. I would love to. That will be a privilege of mine. Yeah.
Go ahead and comment says that I want, right? I want affiliate, or
Yeah.
I want to learn. And go ahead and comment in, below the video. And I think there's a lot of things that we can discuss, and we can go on for hours. Actually, I still got a lot of things that I want to go in my mind now, but I think the memory card is full. The video is too long. Anyway, it's such an honor and such a pleasure to have you in our podcast, this series. I think we learned a lot of things, and we definitely interested in going into deeper on ads in affiliates, in getting our beginners, because a lot of them, they wanted to sell something, they wanted to make money, but where and how? And maybe we can have you as like 2 hours, or maybe even 1 day's workshop and stuff, something like that, in upcoming futures. Let's see how many people want it, then let's do it, and we will have you in our mastermind, maybe, right?
Anytime.
Yeah.
Anytime for you, brother. I mean, it's really all about the right amount of knowledge that we provide, but also the right types of verticals as well, because not everything will work with each traffic channel. That's a given fact. We're not here to, kind of like be kind of like just evangelically saying everything will work and you make money. No, it needs strategic planning. It needs information that would give you that filtered analysis and overview of what would work on like different types of traffic channels. So yeah, I'd be super privileged to provide that information. Yeah, of course.
Yep. Okay. So thank you so much,
Renz,
for being here. And that's it, everyone. Just go ahead and comment down there, says whatever you want to say, and we'll see you on next episode.